That one. Oh, press the wrong button, as per usual. And let me just get Discord going. There are people in Discord already. Hello, Discord.
Hello there.
Oi, oi, oi. So, what do we got? Let's have a look what we're going on here. So, we've got blown up water tanks bits. Hello, Barney and Buddies. Hello. Kay, hello. Good afternoon as well. Leppy, hello. Nikolai, who's in Discord.
Hello there.
Mohammed Lopney, hello. Mahmood Lopney, how you doing? And that's it for the moment. And then we've got people in Discord. We've got Stug Mouse, me, Esquire, and Not Banana Joe, who's worked out that it's not always wise to go out while ratings have got a thing going on, because you lose points. Anyway.
And the cover.
Yeah.
That's too stressful.
Anyway, a couple of things. You'll hear some banging in the background. That's the blinds, because it's bloody hot, but it's windy. Whilst the AC on, I have to have the door open because I have two cats that go in and out of my office all the time. Sorry about the banging, but it happens. Couple of things. We're going to start off with some of the updates, actually. Fizzy's been doing work again behind the scenes, as he does. And there's a lot been going on. It's not just the heavy buff. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. Just in case you missed it on the World of Tanks Blitz official. So, where's the image? Here we go. So the first thing is this. If you, I know it's. I'll try and blow it up a little bit. So on Desert Sands, there used to be a gap here that you could shoot other tanks. There's no gap anymore. They got rid of it.
Oh yeah, Desert Sands.
So
yeah,
you can't shoot the tanks on the sea cap anymore through the little gap. So it's gone,
well,
unfortunately.
It
was a pro move. pro gamers would find that gap and shoot you, and you'd think, where did that come from?
I think
I remember using that gap.
So that's gone now in this update. It's gone, unfortunately.
Ooh,
so going to the next thing that's happened, again, I'll blow it up because it's...
hold on a second. So first they removed the HE splash, and then they removed these things.
Yes, they've removed these things
it's
as
like,
well.
It's like intentionally nerfing pro player moves so noobs can have some fun.
Yes, this is true. This is true. Just one moment. Surab Awashti. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I'm awful at pronouncing anything, to be fair, my friend. So yeah, that's what they're doing. They're removing bits and bobs. I never thought it was a major problem, to be fair. Nothing that would cause so much concern that you'd have to have it removed. But apparently, you have to have it removed.
No, patching a map is no problem, but patching a map after removing the HE splash, this is intentional.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that. Which brings me to the next one, which isn't too bad. So on Oasis Palms, when you're heading towards the B cap, there was a little brick wall with an archway. If you're spawning on the right side, and you used to get hung up on that wall by the archway. Now the wall just completely disappears. So if you hit the wall, it goes. There's no bricks anymore. There's no rubble. It goes.
Okay, so again, this is one of the map fixes.
I've never experienced that one.
Well, there was a wall here. So if you spawn on the right side of the map, where there's the trench gully, and everybody normally just goes straight round, the nearest the city realistically. If you go towards the B cap on Oasis, then what you will see, there's an archway with a brick wall. Now, when you used to hit that archway or that brick wall, there will be a pile of rubble left. The rubble is no more. It's gone. It's gone.
So this is a map patch for this thing.
Yeah.
While there is in the center of, I think, for Despair, there's a what is it, like an ambulance?
Yes. Yes.
Up to tier 4, it's gonna stop you.
Oh, Lockney, you're gonna love the next picture. You're gonna love. In fact, forget getting hooked up on that. Let's go straight to the next picture because you're gonna love it. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. This one first. We're gonna go to this one first. So on the same map, on the left spawn, they have now reduced and rounded off the two sand dunes that are separated by a little dip that the TDs used to sit in camp. They've gone.
Huh.
They're not as big as they used to be. So they've been rounded off and they've been narrowed down and flattened effectively. Now, I don't agree with that one, because if you spawn on that side of the map now and you're a TD, you haven't got many options.
Yep.
Yet if you spawn on the other side of the map, the one we were talking about a minute ago, the right spawn, you've still got that big hill behind that the TDs can go up. So it's a little bit, I don't know if that's balanced or not, to be honest.
This is one of the biggest mistakes. Like most of the maps are lopsided, like crazy. Like what, like for example, Black Gulver or Canyon. Like what of these have? Yeah, you have an amazing advantage. Like just by spawn.
Absolutely, absolutely. And they've done that with this. So now they've got rid of those two sand dunes that you used to have, which I think is a shame, really. I don't think they should have done that, but there we go. Now we'll go back to the other images. So again on this map, if you go when you go up to the to where the canyon type area is, there used to be on, if you're spawning on again the right side, not the left side, the right side, there was like a rocky outcrop, and when the other tanks are in the canyon area where there's like a mosque type thing on top of the hill, they could poke around, but you couldn't sit behind a rock and shoot them because it would hit the rock. So you would sit here and it would hit a rock without hitting the tank. They've removed that, so now it will actually not hit the rock.
Okay, there's a similar example in Naval Frontier.
There is.
I think A. Yeah, A. If you are in A, you can shoot towards the, what is it? The bush. There's like a little wall that you can see the tank, but if you shoot, you actually hit the wall.
Correct. Well, that's the same as this, but now they've removed that. You won't hit the rock anymore, which means you can now take cover behind that rock. And if you go onto a training room and look at this, the rock that you were behind gives you a lot of cover. Now, I don't know if this was a good idea as well, because it means you can sort of stay in cover and smack people in the canyon. Now, there are people saying that what was the point of having a rock, because you can't smack people in the canyon, but now you can. So it's an interesting one.
Again, it gets more advantage to the one of the side.
Yeah. And then we move on to the area that I was just talking about, where it's not a mosque, but it's like a little mosque type area at the back of the map in the canyon. It's like a mosque on top of a little ridge, right at the back of the map in that canyon area on Oasis Palms. Now, you used to be able to get up there if you were lucky. You can't anymore. It's now been blocked off completely. You can't even be pushed up there. So that's gone. Now, I used to have fun in say gravity mode or whatever it was, because you used to be able to sort of fly over the ridges and get on top of that mosque. It was great, but you can't anymore. It's gone. It's been blanked out, so to speak. Which brings me to the last one, which is a biggie, to be fair, when you look at it. And the last one is New Bay. Now, if you're looking on, if you're seeing this on the stream, the areas that are blotted out, that have sort of got this checkered thing on it, you can't get on those anymore. You can't go up there. So these,
seriously?
Yeah, these are now blocked passes. You cannot get up to those passes.
Oh.
Wait.
I still remember like having a strategy in our tournaments, like to push the Izu up there.
Up this
So
side,
we
up
have
on the
to
right
cover-
side.
No, on the left side.
On the left
middle
side,
one
yeah.
and the left.
Oh, I get the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do that. Well, on the
We
right
push an
side,
Izu-
on the right side one, you can get a Death Star up there.
Yeah.
Because I've got a Death Star up there, and you could get a
Oh,
Death
that-
Star up there,
that
and you
was
could
my
oversee. You could oversee with a Death Star. Well, with any TD, but a Death Star's quite tall. You could oversee and actually smack tanks going down up out the dip by the bridge, going over to the other side onto the light med route of CCAP. Can't do that anymore. It's blocked. So it's been blocked
So
out.
Are you talking about those areas highlighted in orange?
Yes,
Orange
those
stuff?
those areas that are sort of highlighted in that checkered sort of stuff. Those are all blocked areas now.
Well, that one hill over there, I never could get up that thing. I
Well,
tried.
this one
Like
over
the
here.
backpack said you couldn't get
Well,
up
the
it
one
anyway.
on the far left was very difficult, but the two on
Yeah.
the one on the near left, I've been up there, in a heavy
I
tank,
get up
and I've overlooked the B cap, and as Lopn's saying, the one in the middle on the left, you can push another tank. You used to be able to push a tank up there, and you
Oh.
could get a tank up there. And then if you go to the ones on the right, yes, you can get up. You could get up those. The one in the middle right, that I've not seen anybody get up to that one because it's very difficult. But the far right, yes, you could get up there. In fact, if I remember rightly, I've seen a video of Bushka up there smacking tanks in a TD. So
I've never even tried that. 'Cause
yeah, no, it was possible. It was
But-
possible. So
I,
that's quite a
I
big
think
thing.
I think Wargaming's next map should be like a chessboard, like just flat.
Well, yeah. Don't. They'll tinker with Himmelsdorf. Now, I don't know. The other thing I've noticed, and I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, they've also changed the colours on New Bay.
Really?
Yeah. So let me just go into a training room.
Actually, that
oh.
looks like Port Bay because New Bay has.
That's what I mean. Port Bay.
Bridge.
If I go into
New
Port
has
Bay,
the stupid bridge and the. I
So,
hate New Bay.
if I go into
I
Port
still
Bay,
hate New Bay.
just create the room. I'm no good on mouse, by the way. But the colours have changed. I believe they've changed. They've changed colour, and it looks a different colour. And there's another map, so I don't think it's the same colour. Oh, I'm churning out at 60 frames. That's why. My bad. If I churn out at less than that, if it more than that, which I can do now, 120 on my iPad, then it is different colour. It is a different colour. But I'm on the PC at the moment. That's why I can't do it, because I can't do 120 on the PC. Only the iPad. But on the iPad, it's a different colour. It's maybe it's because it's 120 frames a second, but it's a completely different colour. And there's a couple of maps that are a different colour. So it's very strange, very strange. But that's what they've done with the maps and some of the other bits and bobs. As you should all know, they've also...
Hold on a second.
Oh, go on.
Did I hear you right? You said you have 120 FPS option in your
iPad, yes.
iPad.
Yeah.
Okay. So and on PC,
I
which
don't.
Here's the problem. Like you need a display first. Like okay, give me the frames. It's not that hard for my PC to pop up the frames.
Mm-hmm.
It's an FPS game basically, so I can
Well,
take advantage of this.
But if you use BlueStacks, the emulator BlueStacks for PC, on the Android emulator BlueStacks for PC, you can use 120 FPS. It gives you an option.
Well, I've got. What have I got? Because I've got an external GPU. I've got a Radeon Pro 580 external for my Mac, and it will only give me 60 FPS, where the iPad will give me 120. Only since the update, I must add. Only since the update. So before the
But
update,
you
I could only play on the iPad at 60 frames. Now I can play at 120.
You need to jump through so many hoops just to enable this 120.
That's an interesting thought then. Because I've always, like I said, until the update, it was always top I could always get was 60 frames a second, 60 FPS. That's it. And now I can get 120 quite easily.
To be honest with you, I was trying to enable went through the configuration files to try and brute force a setting like 240. So I can, what is it? I need to record a clip, high speed clip, so I can play it back in slow motion.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can't do that. Even if you try to brute force like a setting inside the files, nope, it's not gonna be enabled.
I didn't know that. But then again, I'm a techno noob. I know nothing about technology. I mean, you've had to help me out before on my streams. I know nothing about technology. But yeah, I did notice that the other day. Straight after the update, all of a sudden, wow! I can suddenly churn out 120 on the iPad, which I would never been able to do before. So it was an interesting one, to be honest with you. And when you do that, like I said, it changes the colours of some of the maps. It's really weird. So you do have some different colours there, which again surprised me. But getting back to the update, as I said, you've seen there's lots and lots of heavy buffs. All the heavies are now being buffed. But the most important one is that the T92 has been nerfed. And
obviously the most important change is that the fact that the dog got a HP buff.
Well, it's not just that. It's not just that. I mean, the
Tog
T. Yeah, I mean, the tog's the tog. And it's never been a problem. I mean, the turret traverse has always been slow. But the T92 now, I've come across a couple of them since the update, and they're not as menacing as they were before. Because now you can really smack them, and they're not bouncing anymore. Which was a pain, because they're a light tank. But I still...
How glazes of the T92 still red? What the hell?
No, they still look red.
No, it's not.
Some
Yes, it is.
Some of
I'm
it
seeing
still...
a leopard and it's red as hell.
No, some of it still looks red, but trust me.
There's something wrong with your leopard then.
I've been...
I'm running calibrated.
I've been penning them
There's
easily.
something wrong with your eye or something.
I've been penning
Not
them.
that colorblind.
I've been penning them easily, and I was in. What was I in? I was in a standard B, and I was smacking it left, right, and centre at T92 in a ratings battle.
No problem, but if they nerf the armor, is it enough nerf so you have an overmatch like with the 150? Like
No.
if you have
For
150
121mm and above, it's enough.
Yeah, so you have. So that's good. For me, that's good enough, because if you are like driving a heavy gun or a TD gun, you can overmatch.
Correct. You can now. You can now.
Yeah, but it's too late.
Well, this is the problem. I mean, it's a lot of us have been arguing for a long time that. I mean, I've been arguing since the first day they came out, especially on the T92, that the penetration values and the damage output on its APCR, forget the missiles, just the APCR was too much. Far too much.
You can, again, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. You can out-trade in a light, and that's just wrong.
Correct. And that was my argument with it. And when I did my very first review, literally the day they came out, I said, look, I haven't got a problem with the missiles, because it's going to take a long time for people to learn how to throw these things around corners, to be fair, and not many are going to be able to master that. But having a light tank with light tank camo and all the things that come with being a light tank, being able to dish out the same dirt as a 268 or a grill at tier 10 when this is a tier 9 tank is just wrong. I mean, it was just wrong. It had a better gun than the grill. The grill is a TD.
Well,
and to boot, and the grill won't bounce anything realistically, but this thing would bounce almost anything. I mean, I've bounced a 183. I've fired a 183 at a T92 and just bounced it.
Yeah, so you can zip through the enemies, and they have two options. You need to rotate to you. You can use the speed against them. They can maybe shoot you once with your strange hitbox. They're like have I don't know 70% chance of hitting you and damage,
Yeah, absolutely.
and you can just smack them, and you're out of there, and you're winning the trade.
Yeah.
Even if you miss, they're aiming at you, and your team can rush.
And this was the problem with them. That was, I mean, the Sheridan's a little bit different. And the reason I've always said the Sheridan's different, it's bigger, it's wider, it's taller.
But it's faster. And
But it is faster.
And
But
achievable.
it is
Don't
achievable.
forget that.
That's the other thing. Whereas the T92 has got a very low silhouette.
no, the T92 is easier to HE. That's my.
But
Like,
it's a
you
lot
need-
smaller though. It's like
Oh, it is
half
a
You can
lot
the
HE
smaller.
size
the
of
back, you
Sheridan.
can HE the front. So I have no trouble HEing it. And the Sheridan is just spaced armor all around.
Well, you'll have no
Yeah.
trouble with the T92 at all now because it's been nerfed on its armor. But it needed it because
I can
it
even,
has been
even at the
it's been bad.
sides, you can pin it.
Yeah, it's not been the best. It's not been the best. Ah, Explode Gaming, how you doing, my friend? Banshee, hello. Layla, hello, Layla. Dark Eye, hello. Mr. Slapnonce, hello. Slapnonce. God, I hate. Ricky, how are you doing, Ricky? And Charisma Putra, how are you? But yeah, I mean, it's been nerfed, and you know, I think now it's right. It's no longer going to be able to outtrade those bigger tanks, which was always the problem with that tank. And then the other thing, the Panther 2, boy, and the Yag Tiger, boy. I mean, the Panther 2 and the Yag Tiger have had quite a big buff, especially the Yag Tiger at tier 9. The tier 9 Yag Tiger, not the premium Yag Tiger, the tech tree one. I mean, that has had one hell of a buff. It's formidable. I mean, it was formidable anyway, but now it's even more formidable, especially if you stick it front on. I mean, I couldn't pen it in an IS-7. I had to use Pramo to pen it.
I couldn't pen it with my AMX prototype. with
Saying that, Fugit, I just 1v2 two top tier heavies in my Yak Tiger.
Well, I'm not surprised.
So basically, they gave it the same armor as the Yak Tiger 88 at
Better?
the same tier.
No, it's
Better? A lot better.
No. What I mean is the Yak Tiger 88 armor at its tier is the same as the Yak Tiger at its tier.
No, the Yak
it's
Tiger is
better.
better.
No, it's better. You're right. It would look that way, but no, it's a lot better than that. And you're right. The Yag Tiger
No,
88
if you look,
tier 8
man, if
is
you look at it tier for tier, it's a lot still a lot better than the Yak Tiger 88 in tier 8.
yeah.
Because with the Yak Tiger, the tier 9 one, you can only pen it with high caliber TD rounds. Like heavies, even heavies, the ST1 or even the IS-8 cannot penetrate it frontally without using a heat.
Yeah, I can vouch for this. The 8.8 or 10.5 if you mount, because who mounts the 8.8 anymore? But after the Tiger 2 buff, it couldn't pin a Tiger 2, but the Tiger 2 could pin it in the hole.
Well, the Yag Tiger is a beast. The tier 9 tech tree version, not only, I mean, it's got, if you look at it closely, what it had on the gun mantlet before, it now has on its entire front. Literally. And they've even got rid of the soft spot that was the machine gun sort of cupola thing on the front. It's gone. It's gone. And it's just absolutely rock solid. Rock solid.
So Fugit, I'm sending you a game that I just got. Maybe you can play it on
yeah, I
background.
will. Yeah, I will.
It's on the Yak Tiger. Yeah, it's on topic actually.
Yeah, good. Where are you sending it?
I'm sending it currently on the replay.
Onto
not yet,
Discord. Okay,
Yeah,
no
Discord.
worries. But yeah, I mean, it's. But what makes me wonder is, will they ever relook at the grill?
I hope.
No, the grill is fine as it is. I tell you, it's fine. They don't need to make it better.
I would like to have the tank actually have camo.
Or more penetration. That's the only thing. But
Just give it HE penetration. Just HE penetration, nothing else.
Yeah.
A cheap
No.
pen and perhaps some gun depression as well.
no, gun
No, gun
depression.
depression. Gun depression. I don't have a problem with gun depression. I have a problem with, firstly, such a massive gun, and its low damage compared to the other TDs in its tier.
The
I
damage.
hate the camouflage on that thing. Like, what the hell? 2% aftershock? Come
Where
on.
is Ruby?
I mean, discount the Object
Ruby,
263, because the Object 263 has got a very, very quick reload, which is why it doesn't dish out much derp. But then you look at the grill,
Ruby, give me an invite again.
and it really isn't a massive damage machine anymore. When it first came out, it was, but they nerfed it.
I'm gonna look at the grill because not that I have
The
it.
grill is. I'm telling you, the grill is like the one tank that doesn't need balancing in this tier.
No, I think you're right. I don't think it does. I think when it first came out, it was not balanced because it was. I mean, the gun was mad. It was mad. But his HE's not that great
What do you mean?
on the grill.
The penetration of the
Penetration of the HE on the grill was not that great.
Puta.
That's 75 millimeters.
It's not that
Yeah.
Why do you always have to have double Sheridans in
great. Yeah,
tier?
but don't forget, it's at tier 10.
Ruby,
Yes.
did you send me an invite?
No.
Yes,
Yeah,
you did.
the T110, E4, and E3 have 90 millimeters.
Exactly.
Of
Yeah.
HE.
Yeah. The grill's HE pen's not that great. It's not that great.
Say
Oh, Batchat is camping.
90 millimeters. 263. 263 has the same HE pin as the, but yeah, you had that faster reload, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, but not just that. The 263, not only have you got that faster reload, but you've also got massive armor at the front. Don't forget that. it's
Ruby,
a
angry man.
it really is a pain
I
to
struggled
knob.
playing a 263 while playing. I forgot what it was. I don't know.
No, it's true. I mean, it's
Playing
the,
the, well, if I was playing the M60, that makes sense. But if I was playing a heavy, it's kind of like, why can't I pin the front of a 263? That makes no sense.
no, it's thick armor. It really is. There can be only one.
it
Hello,
is. It's
John Hefke.
ridiculous.
Hello, Team Trouble. Hello.
And if you're playing a derpy heavy, you can't. Hitting the lower plate is very difficult, even if they expose it.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, 263.
No, the 263 it's an interesting tank. That one. It's an interesting tank.
But yeah, it does have that faster reload though because it's got lower alpha than most
Correct.
of the-
Correct. And this is the thing. That's why it does have that lower that lower alpha because of that reload, which is normal. But I mean, if those of you on YouTube, you can see here. I mean, this is Matthew rolling out in a Jagdtiger, and it's formidable. It's absolutely formidable now. It is absolutely rock solid.
I'm thinking about getting it back, to be honest.
I don't blame you. It's what they've done with the buff on this thing is they've turned what was, I thought, a good tank anyway into a beast. It's now a beast.
It always was a beast.
Now.
Well, like I said, I mean, I've never struggled in the Jagdtiger. I always thought it was a really good tank, a good TD, and like all TDs, it had its good points and its bad points. But
Esquire,
now it's
you wanna
like,
get ammo
sod it.
back
Let's just go front
Oh,
on.
I don't know.
Let's just go front on and see
By
what
the
you can
way,
do.
That wasn't me that got Amaranth yesterday.
Oh, it
Brent.
was some. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So here's the hypothesis. Okay, for me, I think like they look okay. Some tanks need some balancing. Okay, we need to balance them. But every
140.
tank is, if every tank is balanced, then we don't have any job. So let's break some tanks. So we need to balance them in the next batch. So we can keep our job.
There could be that argument to it. Yes, break a tank and balance it later. But there's quite a lot been going on, and as I said, the Panther 2, for those of you who haven't been out in it recently because you struggle with its armor, the turret on that thing has had a big buff as well. to be honest with you. It has actually
Remember,
had quite a big buff.
Remember,
like how they
update
buffed that.
before Panther 1 had the buff. So
Well, now the Panther
You know
2
what I
has.
want? I want Chieftain back in store.
I found
Which one? The T95 or the Chieftain? Chieftain.
The one you're running now.
As you can see there, Matthew got a nice mastery with 5,300 damage in a tier 10 game in a Jagdtiger, effectively.
I find it interesting that the Panther 2's whole armor is the same as the Panther 1's. Still.
Yeah, but the Panther 2 has been significantly played with, especially in its turret. So if I'm just gonna put it up. So
Yeah, but the buff said it was 120 millimeters.
well, now on the turret,
Me-
the front turret now is 170 mil of armor on the front of the turret, and the front of the hull is 120.
Yeah, the hull is the same as the Panther 1 after they had buffed the Panther 1 as well.
Mm-hmm. I mean that's a significant increase to that turret armor. To be fair,
This AMX 30 prototype is trying to side scrape against an Object 263. What a legend.
so it's a nice tank.
shit.
Now,
You don't side scrape in the AMX 30 prototype.
so the next thing we're talking
Hold
about,
on.
because it's the big thing, is Battle Pass or Thunder Pass, whichever one you want to look at.
Let's
You
just say
being
cheap.
thunderstruck.
Oh, he got wrecked.
He got toasted.
That line from the AC/DC's Thunderstruck should play every time you kill somebody with the thunder.
So basically, you've got what they've done. They've given us this Battle Pass. Now you don't need to buy it. If you don't buy it, you can do everything in the grey, which means you don't get the tanks, but you'll get avatars, and you'll get credits, and you'll get some XP, and you'll get some gold. And then for basically what's effectively $5, you can buy a premium pass. And, well, then you get everything as long as you do the missions. Now, the missions are your standard missions, by the way. But as you can see here, you get these battle pass things. Now, if you've got the battle pass, you get an extra one.
Extra mission with
You get an extra mission,
5.
which gives you 5. And as you can see, my extra mission there is get 4,900 XP. And then I get that. So,
Thank God you have a quick tank.
now the thing is, and I'll be honest with you, unless you're a tank collector, if you're normally hanging around in tiers 9 and 10, it ain't really going to be for you. As Canny's just said, it's to scam kids out of their money. I don't know if it's to scam kids, Canny, but it's certainly to get the newer player to buy into this.
E100.
Because you get 2 tanks, which are effectively 2 low-tier tanks.
Oh, where did the tier seriously hit me right into Cupola? The lucky ass.
Well,
son of a bitch.
actually, here's how I've broken the tiers up. 1
So
through 4
I-
is low tier.
Give me
5
a
through
second.
7 is mid tier, and then
I haven't
8
played a lot of
through 10 is high tier.
Blitz lately.
Mm-hmm.
I not a lot of Blitz. I played
So,
only
the KD
76
when it's Thunder
games
is a mid-tier
in
tank.
the last 30 days.
Yeah.
So, I'm like losing interest in the game after I was like invited to a platoon by my teammate. He's like, let's have some fun. Uprising mode is back. So I
Roll.
log in.
55.
I get back with him in my Yagaru. I have 1,000 ping. My ping is a full second.
Wow.
Yikes.
Well, that's
I
what
am the top damage and
Yeah.
the top kills in my team.
Yeah.
I said, okay, the game is still like, okay, I just remembered why I left.
Is that E100 literally just spamming HE at this point?
Guys,
Yeah. Yeah, he
guys. I know you're playing a game. I'm gonna mute you if you're gonna carry on talking about the game when people are trying to make points, if you don't mind.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Sorry.
So Lockney, yeah.
So
There is an issue
That-
there.
that's the most deterring thing in the game, like the thing that makes you avoid it. Like the player base cannot understand the game.
What?
I keep saying it over and over and over. During this quarantine, I'm trying to make my friend play the game. Okay? And he's trying and he's
Who the fuck hit? Oh no, never mind.
Again,
Ruby,
don't-
shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
Lopney, carry on.
So there's no way for a new player to know what is in the game. Like there's a new tank. Okay, what is this new tank? What is it?
Oh, it's a KV1S basically with funky camo and more depression, and that's it.
Mobility, but better
That's the thing.
and better
My teammate bought. If my friend bought this tank, is he gonna understand what HE is?
Well,
Because
no,
he doesn't
and this,
so
but
far.
this is a good point that you raise, and one that I've been arguing ever since that particular patch. And everybody, and I mean it, I say everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people embraced and welcomed what was the calamity of 5.5. And when that patch came out, I said, look, trimming the tech trees may seem like a really good idea, but long-term effect, you are going to have people who are not learning the game, getting to the upper tiers, and they will, and it will spoil the upper tiers. And that is exactly what's happened. And I see it a lot. I mean, take for example, you go into a tier 8 game, any tier 8 game, and you'll get people in there who have got a few hundred battles, maybe 1,000 battles, and they've got their tier 8 tank. I'm not talking about premium tanks. They've got a tier 8. Some of them got tier 10 now. And you'll see them because they don't have camo on the tank. Why do they need camo? They didn't need camo on their tank in tiers 1, 2, 3 and 4. So why do they need it now? And they've got their 60% win rate from tiers 1, 2, 3 and 4. So it clearly works. You don't need the camo, number one. And you see a lot of tanks rolling out in the I tiers now with no camo, number one. Number two, I don't care what you're doing. When I was playing in tiers 1, 2, 3 and 4, if I just run straight into the middle of everybody, it's going to take them at least 8 shots to kill me. In tier 8, no, it's going to take them 2 or 3 if they're lucky. Because you're not that good. And why do I need to angle? I don't need to angle because when I was playing tiers 1 through to 4, I'm only losing like a pittance of my hit points.
Well,
and this is the mentality that's now come into the game. And the mentality into the game now is, how dare you tell me how to play? I've got a 65% win rate after my 1,000 battles. Because I've been playing bots and I've been playing down in the low tiers. So I clearly know how to play the game because my win rate says so. And I don't need camo, and I don't need HE, and I don't need all the other bits and bobs you're telling me I need. And I'll do whatever tactic I want because I can. And I'm better than you because my win rate says so. And that's the long-term effect on the game. And then I see these players get wasted in the first 30 seconds and then screaming at everybody else.
I'm gonna.
Well, I would argue that even before 5.5, you did have bad players at every tier, but after 5.5, that just got worse.
But what you've got now, you've got people rushing the tiers and they don't care.
So I'm gonna.
In the battle pass, you even have extra boosters for researching.
Yes.
Yeah.
Certificates.
Yes.
So, I'm gonna describe something, and you.
Go on, Lopney.
It's good.
Okay, I'm gonna describe something, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or right, or I have something. So, you play the game for that feeling when you are like the underdog, and you're coming like a low tier. You're bringing back the game from the loss, and like these games are the ones that you are playing for. But right now they are getting far between and more scarce. Like
yes, they are.
You don't have like
just like on World of Tanks PC, to be honest. It's
Yeah,
the same story.
Honestly, you get
Like,
a lot
when
of
you
lopsided
feel-
games.
when you feel like you have no effect on the game, like there's like an overpower that's nope, you can't win. You can't say anything against that. Like, what's the point anymore? Like, if in once, like sometimes I get back from work, launch the game, play a couple of games to my friend. Oh, I have the perfect game. I shut down my PC because it's not gonna get any better.
No, and I agree. I mean, it's very difficult now to carry a game.
Sometimes it happens on my first game.
Yeah.
I play just one game in the night, and then that's it for me. Right now, I can like play for 3 days in a row and don't have this game that I'm looking for. Then I'm gonna ask myself, why am I doing this to myself?
Why are we here? Just to suffer.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We've all said that, and we'll always say it.
You can look at the matchmaking with your spawn and your teammates. And looking at these three, you can have a okay. I'm gonna put an amazing effort. I'm not gonna win because they have like an overpowered tune, and we have
46. That's mad.
we have two idiots.
No, I mean that does happen, and you're right. I mean prior to that update, I'll be honest with you. I mean, getting a Kolobanov was difficult, but not that difficult. Let's say. Now, a lot of people struggle to get Kolobanovs.
One does not simply get a Kolobanov.
It's not that straightforward anymore. Now, it used to be. Now, I played a game yesterday with a Squire, funnily enough, in a Rudy. And, I mean, that is the tightest game I've had for a long time.
That's what she said.
And, you know, I mean, those games are few and far between now. They really are.
I like how everybody says you have like 7-0 games. And I'm like, well, for me, it's not quite that bad. It's usually like 5. It's usually like the enemy team will lose 1 to 3 times, but our entire team dies.
No, there are a lot of whitewash games, to be fair. A lot more than there used to be.
There are.
And you know, don't sit there thinking that the people on the winning team are sat there going, "I love the game," because I know players who are saying it's boring. If you're winning 7-0 all the time, it's soul destroying because it's no longer a challenge, is what they're saying. Exactly what Lopner's saying. The challenge is going. And this is the problem with 5.5, which is what I said when it first came out, which wouldn't affect us then. It would affect us now, whereby we are reducing the challenge in the upper tiers. The upper tiers are meant to be challenging. The low tiers are the training tiers, where you get used to where you get used to side scraping, you get used to angling, you get used to all those bits and bobs in the low tiers. And then you put them into practice in the higher tiers. That's what it was meant to be. Now it's not.
Well, in my opinion, like tiers 1 through 4 never really truly. You couldn't. Maybe with certain times at tier 4 you might try side scripting and stuff, but it's at tier 5 that you really have to start.
But don't forget. Tiers 1 through 4. Tiers 1 through 4 is to get you used to tanks. Tier 5 is the actual. Now we're going to start to look at how technically difficult things are, and we're going to. You're going to roll out in a KV1 to learn how to side scrape and bounce, etc., etc. That was how it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Can I rephrase that?
Yeah, of course.
So there is actually 2 games. Tier 1 to 4 is like cars that are shooting each other. It's like a racing game that you can shoot each other. That's it.
Yeah, effectively, yes.
Tier 5 to 10, it's a different game.
Yes, well, it's meant to be.
Yeah. When I started the game 4 years before, now, like, I'm looking... Okay, I looked at the tier 10. It's like, oh, it's the ultimate goal. If I own a tier 10 tank, it's gonna be so amazing for me. It took me like a year.
Oh, yeah, same here. It took me ages to get to tier 10.
Yeah, I was grinding all the lines at the same time. Oh, I had all the 7s before I had the tier 8.
Yes.
The same thing I did.
Yeah. Then my friend told me, as you are progressing, it's not viable anymore. So you need like to focus on a line. So okay, I'm gonna focus a line, and I get myself a tank. But by that time, I had like 5,000 games.
Yeah.
and I got my first tier 10, which is a little,
I've had
little
my
fun.
current account for over 2 years now, I think, and I'm still in the tech tree. I'm still on tier 8 as the highest tier.
Well, I only finished the Japanese line last month.
No, I gave up on grinding like I don't know 6 months ago because there's always a new line, always a new line,
Focused.
and
Oh.
by the time you are finishing the line,
Yeah.
the things that you found that is good about the line, like maybe the armor, the alpha, anything, they're gonna be nerfed and they're gonna be changed.
Well, that's what disappointed me with the whole thing about 5.5. I mean, one of the things that disappointed me more was when they then went back and tinkered with the KV-1. It was a tank that didn't need to be tinkered with.
Nope, it was a very good tank to begin with.
Well, it's not just about that. It's a tank that is meant to be there to teach you how to angle properly and how to side scrape. That's the whole point of the KV-1.
But I think it was also just to shift the meta, to be honest, because after that they did buff the M6 and the T1 Heavy.
But the T1 Heavy doesn't learn
Which
you
doesn't
anything.
require any angling whatsoever.
They don't
Just
teach
sit
you
there
anything.
like
That's the thing. They don't teach you anything.
KV1 was shit if you played it shit.
Yeah, people are like, you can hold down with the. People used to tell me, hold down with the T1 Heavy, and it's like, no, that does not work because the hole is so tall. It's so tall, you cannot hold down with it. That is stupid. That's a bunch of baloney. Hold down the T1 Heavy.
Well,
no.
Well, this is the next thing. I mean, you
No,
tell me now.
And up, you can.
Well, tell me now, because I've seen it. I have seen players. I had a game yesterday on live stream. A guy in a Chieftain Mark 6 sat on top of a hill in a Mark 6. So you tell me what tank he's learnt to hold down in, because it clearly hasn't worked. If he's sitting on top of a hill in a Mark 6.
Sounds as if he's used to Russian tanks.
Wow, that brings me to the next one. I was then in a game on stream, in a tier 10 game, where we had an E100 camping the entire game at the back of the map. Well, why? It's an E100.
Okay, arguably the mouse has better armor, but even the E100 has decent armor. You should not be camping at the back. You're supposed to roll up and take the hits.
Well, this is the
So
thing.
the gun isn't anywhere near accurate enough.
No, exactly. So tell me where these are being learnt. That I'm in a big heavy tank that's just had a load of hit points. And I'm just going to camp nowhere near the battle, and not even bother to use my hit point pool. And then, by the way, and it's on the live stream, you can see it. And then, by the way, when I do get spotted and somebody puts a smack into me, I'm not going to move. I'm just going to sit here and everybody can smack me. And they do. Because I'm not bothering moving. I mean, wow. Where do you learn this? And that you learn it because in tiers 1 to 4 it worked. And I've got a 60% win rate after my 1,000 battles. So I know what I'm doing. That's my gripe. With 5.5 was never going to affect the game immediately, but it was always going to have a knock-on effect eventually. And a lot of what I think wargaming are doing now is trying to paste over. It's basically they're trying to put a plaster over a gaping wound that 5.5 caused.
Oh, can I say something else? This isn't 5.5. They did that before 5.5. When they switched from +2 -2 matchmaking to +1 -1, which I didn't have a problem with that. But Martin Dogger's opinion on that was because he did a video where he showed like games he played way in the past. He found them somewhere on a computer or something. Anyway, he was saying that when you had +2 -2 matchmaking, you were low tier, you had to be a lot more careful, and the game was. And he argued the game was slower paced than it is now. Now it's really fast paced.
It was, but don't forget. I mean, the game is meant to be fast paced. That's why it's called Blitz. And the +2 -2, the +2 -2 back in those days had to be in mainly because there weren't enough tanks and there weren't enough people. But you know, trust me, if you're in a tier 8 going out in a tier 10 battle, mate, it doesn't matter how good you are going to struggle penning those beasts with those guns back in those days, and it was horrible. It was horrible. +2, -2. It wasn't nice at all. So I mean, I don't mind the +1, -1. I think that was a good thing. +1, -1 was a good thing.
Well, I think the problem with calling it Blitz and making it seem like, well, it's supposed to be a fast-paced game is people get this mindset of, okay, it's a fast-paced game, let me just rush in and run around like crazy, and then, oh, I'm dead.
Well, you say that, but that's not because it's a fast-paced game. That's because that's what they're learning now in the low tiers. Look, seriously, roll out in a tier 1 or tier 4, any tier 1, 2, 3 or 4 game, make sure your map is Fort Despair. And I'll tell you, one of two things are going to happen in that game. If they're all brand new players, one of two things are going to happen. They're either going to camp where the TDs are, or they're going to YOLO into the middle. That's it. It's the only two things they do.
Good old days.
And now you roll out in a tier 8 game on Fort Despair, and you'll see. Go on, say it. Everyone.
You'll see a lot more different positions being taken.
Correct, but you'll see the new players doing what they were doing, with the ones with the low battle counts doing what they've been doing in tiers 1 to 4, which is either they YOLO into the middle and get smacked, or they camp in the TD spots, because that's what they know, that's what works for them. And what I'm saying is, how can you redress them when they're just going to turn around to you and say, but I've got a 60% win rate, so I'm clearly a good player.
I think good players need average damage.
Yeah. This is the thing, but you know, you do get this now. I mean, I've had it a lot. You know, I've had people screaming, "Oh, I'm a 65% win rate player after 300 battles." Yeah, but 100 of those battles were against a bot. It doesn't mean anything. And I said it 5.5, and I say it again now. If you really want to steady the ship, if you really want to make it interesting, remove win rate calculations in tiers 1 through to 4. Get rid of it. Remove that stat. That will stop people from seal clubbing, and it will also stop giving the new players this false sense of their own importance. Because when they start going out in the proper tanks from tier 5 upwards, and you start calculating the win rate properly, you will see a difference. And their win rates will not be in the 60% anymore.
Oh my god.
Or you can make it exponential, like your win rate. Like if you have 1,000 game in tier 1, it's gonna account for like only not 10% of your win rate. It's gonna last just 1%. Like your games at a higher tier, they account more towards your win rate.
But again, Lopney, I mean, let's be honest. The chances of you going out tomorrow morning in a tier 1 to 4 tank.
My point is, I have playing another game for the past like 2 months or so. I played like 200 hours in this game. I've watched on YouTube like, I don't know, 400 hours of the game.
Okay.
So I have more watching than playing. I'm enjoying the watching because I'm learning something. Because everyone is explaining and you can understand what's going on. And the thing is, inside the game, when there is like a tournament or something, you get it's live. You can go there. When you go there, it's not just like two commentators commentating on the game and the game is over and everything is over. No, there's like explaining something to do and they're saying what it's going to do. And they're like, okay, it's a fast-paced game, but fast-paced games has this mechanic. It's called respawn. If you are in a fast game, you need to respawn. But in a game that it's a fast-paced game. Okay, it's like it could take from from a minute to 7 minutes. Yeah, but you have no respawn. Okay.
Yeah, but it's meant to be a fast-paced game, but also a strategic chess type game. It's not meant to be just
know when to
fast-paced.
slow down.
Just one moment. So Canny on YouTube is saying, but if you do that, how will new players know they do okay? Canny, you've been playing this game a long time, and so have I, and a lot of people on Discord have. Back in the day, before they changed certain things, you used to have a rating, which you still have, by the way, if you go on to Blitz Assistant, which is not the same as your ratings points. So you used to have a Blitz rating. In fact, let me just see if I can get Blitz Assistant up so I can show you what I'm talking about. Here we go. Here we go. So if I show you this. So this is Blitz Assistant. I've just got to turn off certain things though. Where is it? There it is. Oh no, where is? Oh yeah, I've got to put that on. So if I turn on Blitz Assistant, you will see if it pops up, and it's not popping up for some reason. It's not working. Oh, maybe it's not working because I've not turned it on. There we go. Right, you will see here in the middle of the screen, I've got like a flag in a rating of 4,227. That rating used to be in your garage, funnily enough. And that tells you if you're playing well or not. This is your personal rating, depending on your overall performance, victories, damage, average damage, blah, blah, blah. They got rid of that in the garage. It used to be in the garage, but it's not there anymore.
Tell you what, here's my Lopani hypothesis. The guy that invented this rating system, according to multiple parameters and some high functions and some algorithms, I think that guy is fired right now.
Which is a shame.
Because he did something good.
Yes.
I think no. This is not what we are trying to do here.
Well, I think that new players should be instead of having the battles in tiers 1 to 4 count towards your win rate. Have that back. Bring that back. You know if you're doing good. And then once you get to tier 5, then the win rate kicks back in.
So now you want to meet me.
It's like the new product.
Wargaming's made a lot of dumb decisions in recent years, and it's kind of...
Well, they haven't. I have to disagree with you. They've made, from a business perspective, they have made absolutely amazing decisions. 5.5 to get new players into the game and keep them into the game was an amazing decision because it did exactly what they intended it to do.
Okay, but that's
okay. I can hear you.
From our perspective, it's not. It's a terrible idea.
No. I'm just going to argue with the same principle. Okay, you're saying like if the money keep flowing, we're doing good, right?
Yeah, that's what they look at it. Yeah.
Okay. If you look 5 years to this day, you look at the market, like mobile gaming exploded.
Yeah.
And I mean the word exploded. Like it's taking over console and it's almost more than PC, and everyone has a phone and everyone has free time that can pop up their phone and play some games.
Yes.
So if you're telling me that you're making the same revenue 3 years ago at the same, we're doing fine.
And I agree with you there. There's a problem because you should be earning more money now. That's right.
Your projection is, I don't know, flawed.
But Lovely, you're missing something. And their project 5.5. Don't forget, you've been playing the game a long time as well. And back in the day, you were lucky to get a new premium tank every 6 or so months. Now we get them every 6 or so days. And the store.
No, I haven't logged for a week, and I logged, and there's 6 more new tanks.
Exactly, and every day. So you can buy because when we first started, hey Jory, when we first started back in the day, the only premium tanks you got were the ones that are above the tech tree. And just to put you in the picture, So you go into the tech tree, and you had these premium tanks that were available, and you didn't have this many. When I first started in the German line, you had the Löwe, you had the Panther M10, which was a new one, and you had the Dicker Max, and that was it. Now you've got the Jag 88, we've got the Panzer 4.5, and the T25, but you only had 2 back in the day. In the Russian line, you only had the IS-6 and you only had the Su-100Y. That was it. Now you've still got all of those, but on top of that, you go into the store, and now I've got the T55A and the T54. I've got the T26E5 available to me. I've then go down. I've got the T2 and the T7, the Gills and Panzer. It's never ending, and that's where their money now comes from.
Yeah, but you're basically milking a dead cow right now.
Well, what they're doing now, what they're doing now is they're enticing the players into the game as per 5.5, and then they're getting the players to buy the tanks. That's it. That's what they're doing, and it's working for them. Problem is, business and play style are 2 different things, and therein lies the problem, because we are, the idea of any game, and this is all games, not just this game, but the idea of any game is eventually to be challenging, and the idea of any game getting to the very final tier is that it's very challenging, etc., etc. So
I find more challenging the tank some of those noobs drive than them itself.
And this is the thing with this game.
Didn't you say Wargaming got a new development team sometime ago?
They did. They got
2017.
They did. Yes, they did.
I'm wondering if that had any effect on
it does.
things.
Yes, it does. It does have an effect. But for a business, their business model is not wrong. They still give us, relatively speaking, a good game.
Oh, you lucky bastard.
But what they need to do is, as Lotney says, they had a good game 4 or 5 years ago, and they need to try and get back to that special place they were at 4 or 5 years, 6 years ago. That's where they need to get back to.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And if they get back to that, it will be a fantastic game again. And I think a lot of the nerfs and buffs are trying to redress the balance that was created with the debacle of 5.5. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, because clearly they're not going to roll back that decision, even though...
No, they can't.
No, that's a hell they're ready to die on.
Well, they did that because I guess they thought people didn't like grinding and stuff, and we don't like grinding, but that's a part of the game.
That's the thing, and this is the thing. At the time, and like I said, a lot of people said, no, 5.5 is completely correct, because I don't play tiers 1 to 4. And my argument to them was, it doesn't matter if you play tiers 1 to 4, guys. What you don't realise is you are going to have a massive knock-on effect in the tiers that you do play, your tiers 9 and 10. Because what you've got now, you've got people rushing through, streamlining, not learning the game mechanics or even the basics, and they're eventually going to end up in the top tier, and they're going to be clueless.
Okay, there's the lower tiers and removing those guns like the A20 pew pew pew, a pow 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 gun. That was
fun.
Their excuse was, we're getting rid of all that because seal flippers.
Well, no, to be an extent though, I agree to some of what they did there. I mean, the A20, to be honest with you, with its massive, it's like really quick, fast load gun, was a dream for a seal clubber. If you're a new player, you wouldn't understand it, and that's why I'm saying, they said 5.5 was there to get rid of seal clubbing. Yes, okay, I get that, and I agree with that, and it's lovely. But if you're going to do that, there's an easy way to do it. And the easiest way to do it is just remove win rate calculations on tiers 1 to 4. The guys, trust me, the pro players who are in tier 10, it ain't going to affect them because they're only going to go down to tiers 1 to 4 if they're just, well, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, I've got some guys on here, some top guys. Maddox hasn't spoken though. But I've got Matthew, who's a 70-odd% win rate player. Lopney, who's a good player. Ruby, who's a good player. I mean, how many times do you guys go down to tiers 1 to 4? Really?
Almost never.
I'm
There
not
you
going
go.
down.
Only when I'm tuning with a new friend. That's it.
Yeah, only if I'm like with a new player that wants to learn the game, and then
That's it.
So it doesn't matter to these pro players, to these top players. It doesn't matter to them if there's a win rate calculation on tiers 1 to 4. It doesn't matter to them. They don't go down there. Simple.
I wouldn't go down there myself. I'm not a pro player. I just.
By all means,
You're a
trim the
pro-
by all means trim the tech tree. Yes, I don't mind that. But
No. I mind that. When a player needs to play the M3 Lee, he understands the game.
well, I was about
That's
to
my
say,
point.
no, I don't mind them trimming the tech tree.
The M3
But don't
Lee
make
was
it
like,
so easy to get from tier
Yeah.
4 to tier 5 or tier 3
Yeah.
to tier 4.
the M3 Lee was the challenge you need to take in order like to continue in the game or not.
Yeah. Tankers Blitz. I mean, trust me, I know a lot of the pro players. Look at their stats on Blitz Stars. I mean, they've got super duper unicum stats on tiers 9 and 10. Look at their low tiers. They're absolutely awful in some of the low tier tanks. The
My
pro
first
players.
tier 7 was the SP1C, and I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
Oh, the SP1C? Yeah, I skipped that on my.
My first tier
I
7,
hate that.
I didn't know that you can be one-shotted, and I'm still recovering from that to this day.
But that's why it's a different game, because for the players who play tier 9s in 10 for the esports side, then they approach it from a different gameplay, and they do, and it's not the same gameplay that you'll get in tiers 1 to 4, and you've got to know how the tanks work. Simple. And what 5.5 did is remove that learning curve to an extent, and it's a shame. And they've got to try and get that learning curve back somewhere or somehow.
Yeah, going back to the KV1 nerf, after they nerfed it, and then I started working out the Pan-European line, you could
Pan-European
a
line.
Lago could pin it frontally, and then you had the side armor nerf. So yeah, I was playing the Lago and this other tier 4, and I just smacked this KV1, who, well, I mean, he didn't know how to side scrape. He wasn't trying, but still, the armor was. With the armor nerf, it was easy to smack a KV1 with a tier 4, and it's like, how? That should not be possible.
I still remember playing my Panzers 3 with 70 mil pen in tier 4. Like
KV1 and AT are the tank that made me learn how to. You need to flank a tank to afflict damage. To inflict
It doesn't
damage,
work.
you need to flank the tank. You can't do it from this position.
choose a different tier, Matthew, then, if you wanna.
That's it.
But
Let's play tier 7.
But you seriously, if you
No.
go, for example, Meadsy did a video recently,
Do the meme.
and he admits that he spammed back in the day the Lutz, which is a great contributor towards his win rate. He admits that, and a lot of players. I mean, I spammed back in the day the DW2 because it was a beast, an absolute beast of a
I
tank.
spammed the KV2.
Yeah, the DW2
Let
was
me buy
played
something
back
first.
in the day,
You know, and
before they made it collect.
Back in the day, imagine a guy who's spamming a KV2.
yeah. I mean, well, you could do in those days, but the thing is, I don't mind them trimming the tech trees. I don't mind that to get more players into the game. All I'm saying is, if you're going to do that, then at least give them some other avenue to learn the game, because a lot of them don't. And like I did a recent video where I said, we forget sometimes it's a game. And I still see it now where people are so hung up on win rate. And I said in the video, guys, it's like real life. Take golf. There's only one Tiger Woods. And there's only ever going to be one Tiger Woods in golf. And there's only going to be... there's only going to be one Ronaldo in football. And there's only one Messi in football. And it's the same in Blitz. Not all the player base are ever going to make it into a pro tournament team. It's that simple. And there are some players who are just gifted. And there are some players who, no matter how hard they try, they just won't make it into a pro team. But everybody seems to think that they can. And I don't know if that's the right mentality we should have. I don't know.
No. Yeah, I'll admit, even I get hung up on win rate, but win rate really shouldn't be your most important stat, because, like average damage, stuff like that,
WN8 for
would be
me.
more important.
WN8, far better.
Yeah, but you guys are top players. But what I'm saying is, for the majority of the player base, your aim shouldn't be that win rate as such. It should be having fun and enjoying it and trying to get better. And
get good.
Yeah, basically, get good, and that should be your overall aim. So you can then go on to your Blitz stars and look at, say, I don't know, your tier 10 E100 and say, wow, I've made it into the 2000s on my win 8, which means I'm quite good at that tank now. That it's enjoyment. It's a game. We play the game for enjoyment. The likes of Maddox, etc., and Jory play the game because they're pro gamers and they want to win tournaments and win money because they're esports. But we're not esports, the majority of us. In fact, 99.9% of us aren't. Unfortunately.
I played with
material.
I played with some of these guys. They look for the fun first. What I mean by fun is... Okay, what I mean by fun is not like the same as like steamrolling the enemies or something like that. You have multiple players in a team. Not all of them mechanically the same. They're not like... Not all of them can aim at 2 targets and shoot and can keep... No. Some of them are like mentally keeping the game at the same level. Like they know what each tank, where it is, what they're doing, but their aim sucks. Okay? But their position is giving their team advantage without even shooting. So they can add something to the game without being like mechanically good.
Well, that's true. But some of these players, I mean,
they're having fun. They're having fun, all of them.
Yeetabix Sam Jeffries has just joined in the chat, and I went out with one of his guys from Zenith, which is a good clan, really good clan, Zenith. It's a pro clan, even though they only just missed out on the challenges this year. But it's a pro clan. And I went out with one of their guys. He was on earlier, Kareem. And we were at tier 10. And he said, well, every time you fire a shot, you have to go out in the FV4202. And every time you fire a shot, you have to do a 360.
Oh, yeah, the 360.
Yeah, he usually sleeps late.
You know, I mean, even those guys have fun. I mean, Jory rolls out in my live streams and takes tanks that he wants to have fun in.
Yeah, man. Of course.
You know, and he's in Vale, which are in the Pro Series. So they all want to have fun.
Okay.
This is the thing. Sometimes we just think sometimes that, I get wargame rewards the wins and win rate is important. But when it becomes that important that it's no longer fun to play the game, that's a problem, surely.
Fuck.
Something about being an esport game, I think Blitz has more chances to be an esport game than World of Tanks PC.
Oh, absolutely, I totally agree. And I one of my arguments is that wargaming need to do more on their esports side, because I think they've got something that is unique and really, really, really could be massive for them. Massive.
Yeah. World of Tanks, the PC version, sucked at that because like most of the pro teams would go to draws. Like no one's taking action. The map is too big to do anything. Like there is no action. Basically, like
Dude,
you
did they allow artillery in their esports on PC?
I don't
Yes.
think
They
Yeah,
allow
That's a
artillery.
good result, Sam. Sorry, carry on.
See,
But they're
artillery
doing-
is one of the things that
Oh.
would turn me off a PC Watt because if you're in a big, slow, heavy tank, you can't get anywhere without artillery just trying to shell the crap
Yeah,
out
but
of you.
artillery is effectively a one-shot for every other tank in the enemy team.
Yeah, you
Well,
can't do it in
yeah,
Blitz.
if you can catch it, but they're camping at the back usually, so I hear.
Well, that's their rate. That's their job. But
You can counter it with
But in my
artillery.
opinion, artillery is not even a tank. Yeah, it might have.
You know what they
tanks on
did
it,
to
but it's
counter
not a
the
tank.
RT? EBRs. Do we want that? No.
no. But the problem. One of the problems I think
yeah,
I thought with the
field
esports
tanks.
side
No,
of World
field
of Tanks is that it's too big and it's too long. Blitz, on the other hand, is exactly what you want with something esports. It's fast and it's fast paced and you get a lot of action in a very short space of time. And I think they, wargaming really do have a winning formula. I'm not saying it's perfect because it's not. And they need to re-look at how they do it. But they need
That was a fair trade.
they need to
No.
look at something because their esports really could be massive. It could be huge, I think.
Talking about blitz and the short, the timing of that. Well, I mean, sometimes we all make stupid stuff in the pub battle, and like rushing
9!
to help teammates that are screwed anyway, and then you get screwed or something. I mean, I've done that, or try to spot and get wrecked because you pushed a little too far up when you were spotting, and you got wrecked. I mean, I do that, but then I hate the games where it's like it's 1 versus 3 or something, but the timer's running out, so you gotta do something, and then you just die, and it's like, why?
we have a
You know,
saying for that.
Sometimes I feel like the timer is a little too short.
Yeah, we have a saying for that. My friend, when he gets in a situation like that, he said, "Like I don't need my."
Bye, Layla.
teammates.
Stay
Just-
safe. Sorry.
He just says,
YouTube.
"I don't need my teammates. Just give me your HP. I don't need you.
Yeah, same thing goes for me.
Like I can do this, but just give me your HP." What he means like just go there and just die in front of me. I can take care of the rest.
Shield.
Like
Yes.
no.
If they just sit on the strategic spots, let them shoot you. You can just do work. That same goes for me.
When you know they can when you know they will bounce, just let them shoot you. Yeah.
But just looking at YouTube, Team Trouble. I did a recent. I get your point, and it's a point
the
well
mouse,
made.
just
And
drive
I
forward.
Every now
I
and
said
then I
exactly
have
that
where
in a
I
video the other day.
Something really stupid and get
Hang on,
wrecked, like-
I said in a video the other day, the last video I uploaded, I think, that you're right. There are two. The professional side is completely different, and we have to separate the two. You really do. But unfortunately, what you get is you get players thinking that they are professional, and believe me, even if it's a lot of the pro players are pro players for a reason. They really are. And it's not just because they play the game a lot. They've also got faster reflexes, faster this, better hand-eye coordination, because they're effectively pro players. They're esports. And it does need to separate it. It does, yes.
Again, I have a counterpoint. That's valid in a FPS, like a true FPS game, like when you have like 30 rounds clips and you need to shoot the enemies and with the headshots. But in this game, it doesn't matter that much because your reload time and your reflexes, like you can be a good player with not that good mechanical skills.
I agree.
But if you have the game awareness,
That's
you can
the
be a
key.
better player.
That's the key.
That's
now,
the key.
And this is what I try to do in some of the videos that I put up. If you look at the pro players, their awareness on the battlefield is it's like they've got a third or fourth eye. They see
they're
things that
counting the
normal
red.
players don't see.
Or basically they use the minimap.
Well, it's not just the mini-map. It's if seriously, I mean, I was watching a game last night on my stream where a guy targeted an IS. He was targeting a tank, and he should have been targeting the IS-4. The IS-4 was a one-shot, yet he decided to target, for example, the Mark 6, which had all its HP. Now, a pro player wouldn't do that. A pro player would target the IS-4, get rid of the IS-4, and then move on to the next tank. And it's just the way they play. Their awareness of the battlefield is completely different. Completely different.
You don't have to be a pro player to do that because
E75 is stock.
there was a game I was playing in the T95 E6 where there was a Death Star. He was I engaged and I got him down to a one shot, and then this STB1 started coming at me, but he was full hit points, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go kill the Death Star because he's got a really nasty gun, and then I can turn around and engage the STB1, which.
But again, I've seen pro players completely ignore.
STB1 as well because we both bounced. He bounced a couple of shots off me, and I bounced one off him. But I killed the STB1 after I killed the Death Star.
Yeah, I know pro players who wouldn't even bother with the Death Star because his reload and his dispersion and everything is so long, and they would get rid of the tank first. And I've been in tournaments with some top teams, and they've turned around and said, "Forget the mouse, leave the mouse till last, get rid of everybody else. There's no point focusing the mouse." It's just a different game style. But anyway.
Of course, that game we were lucky to win because our E100 was apparently stalled. He had the mouse gun mounted, and Yak has.
Well, actually, Biscuit, it was about the update. Hello. Right,
but our E100 finally managed to catch the Yak Prince E100 and kill him, so we won.
So moving it on, because we've been on for over an hour, and we don't normally do an hour on this stream. We do less. So what we were then going to talk about was, hang on a minute. Oh no, it's okay. Starting on Thursday of next week is the Pro Series tours and the Challenger. You will get a chance to get season coins on official streams, so keep your eyes open for that. They start across all service on Thursday, I believe. I'm streaming EU and Asia. I've just seen Every Good Name Is Taken has popped in. He is streaming EU. Aminet is streaming, I think, all NA, EU and Asia. Droodles and Fishy are doing North America, so there's plenty of opportunity, guys, to get season coins in from watching the streams. Plus, you get to support the teams that are out there, so please do that. It's on for the rest of the month. It's going to be an interesting tournament, some interesting gameplay, some interesting meta, so it'll all be interesting stuff.
Speculations.
The other thing is that even if you're not a pro gamer, but you're in a clan, you're still the tournaments are running. Get in them, play them.
Look at my tank and look at my modules.
Because hang on, guys, please, because you can get into those tournaments, and you can earn season coins as well and credits. So get up there, give it a go.
To be fair,
that's true. Only one stream a day will give the coins, so they have to keep an eye out on what Wargaming is saying. But there are plenty of streams out there, and you'll find the stream that's doing the coins, and you can do what they used to do on what I did last year. You can watch your favourite clan in one tournament, but have the window open for the other tournament, so you still get the coins, which is nice. So you can still do that.
Let's just quickly say, last year's Twister season was far more interesting. Like, you could obtain and get the FCM.
Oh, we're not at Twister yet. This is just the spring season. This is just the jump point. So, I mean, when it gets to Twister towards the end of the year, I mean, Twister's not until the end of the year, then you will start getting different things. They'll start throwing different things at it. But I mean, this is just the spring season Pro Tours for the rankings and all that sort of stuff, in for that sort of bits and
yeah,
bobs.
because it's spring season right now. They
Yeah.
got that
Yeah.
event going on
What the fuck is that
for ratings.
server like?
Thanks, Tankers Blitz. I'll catch you soon. And what else was it? Oh yes, and the last thing before we go. Who is trying to use all of their 10 fingers to play? Who's been watching Bushka play with 10 fingers?
What?
I've watched it.
Multi-
It's actually not too bad of an idea.
Multi-fingered, multi-fingered gameplay.
It was
Wow. I wanted to say something random. What update? This is just speculation, but what update do you think they'll add to British lights?
No idea. They're still testing, so I don't know.
Yeah,
What?
yeah. I'm sure they're still testing them.
What tank?
Same with the.
The American ones as well.
Conqueror's still in test.
I think the Super Conqueror has been tested, but they've still got to do the. They've obviously got after the test, they've still got to do obviously the nerfing, the buffing, and the recalibration, etc., etc. It's no good to you. You're a bloody PC player.
Well, I mean, I know they had several premium/collector tanks in testing, and
There's still quite a lot going on. I mean, if I look at the front page on BlitzStars at the moment, I think what they still on to test at the moment. The ones that are still tested are the T54E2, the SU130, the Superconch, the Vickers Light, the T25 Pilots. Those are still under test by looks on it. So,
well, the Eagle 7, if it's not in test yet, should be coming because they put that up on the Discord.
yeah, but what they do, I mean, obviously the guys, the top players go, the guys who get these to test go out in them, then they say what's good, what's not good, and then they've got to recalibrate them, tinker with them, test them again a little bit. It's normally about 3 or 4 months realistically before you start seeing them coming in. The one that we're probably going to see sooner rather than later is the SU130 PM. And some people have, I mean, I haven't seen it. Kay tells me that it's an event for the Chinese server.
Chinese exclusive.
Yeah, it's a Chinese exclusive. But you know, there's been exclusives all the times. So it'll come to the game.
I'm still trying to figure out what I would personally want them to add after it's lights as far as tech goes. But
Next line should be either the Polish heavies or British lights. Or
well, but the British lights are the next one. The British lights are next. So we'll take it from there and we'll see how it goes. Right.
I really want those.
Yeah, no, the British lights should be. I mean, I think personally there needs to be more lights in the upper tiers.
No,
I do. I think it would be fantastic.
If you want to derp it, yes, I can totally agree.
No, I think if you can get if you can get more lights, not just the Batchat and the Sheridan, it'd be interesting up there.
But how would they do the Russian ones? Because
I've no idea. I'm not a dev.
I would agree with having the T54 lightweight as a tier 9.
Well, they're mediums though. I mean,
with the LTTB being a tier 8, that would not work.
Yeah, but there aren't really any Russians.
Oh,
there's not any Russian lights, so are there? They're mainly meds in.
They'll just make something. They'll make an Object 140 lightweight.
Light tank, but that thing only fired. The real T100 light tank only fired heat and AT.
Yeah, but you know, you have the Object 432. That's a premium tier 8.
That's technically not a light tank. They made it a light tank, but the real thing was a heavy.
Yeah, you're right there, Every. The maps are too small. Bye, Barney. Thank you for popping in. Right.
I still
If there's anything else, I'm going to knock it on the head there. We've had an hour and a half, which is more than we normally do. There's some good stuff still coming though, guys. Keep your eye open on these season coins, and you can still get stuff for doing not much, to be fair. And as I was saying with Battle Pass, even if you don't like it, even if you don't need the tank, blah blah blah, look at what you get for a $5. You're still getting gold, credits, XP, blah 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 blah. So even don't turn your nose up at it because you're getting a KV1S effectively with funky dunky camo. You still there are other things in there, and the vaults are not bad, to be honest with you. And I'm still scratching my head wondering if Wargaming have woken up to the fact that they're giving away quite a lot for quite a little.
I
for a change.
think I agree with Droodle Splits, that glow thing that comes off the KV1S Thunder. That should be like an attachment thing, because some people are probably not going to really like that.
Oh, I like it. I think it's fantastic. I was in a game last night with Ruby, and Ruby Warrior said, "Wow, look at that camo! It's funky." I like it.
Matthew.
I do like it.
I don't think I'll like it. I mean, I don't mind the star thing, but the glow coming off of it when you get up to speed.
No, I think it's good fun. Anyway, if that's it from us for today.
Traded well.
We will be.
What?
It's Saturday, so we will be live streaming later. Normal live streams, tunes and everything. So if you're around, by all means, jump in, and we'll have some fun.
Complete my mission.
We'll have some fun as per usual, and I'm gonna try and I'm trying to get a stream organised with Fizzy. That's what I'm trying to sort out.
Yeah.
Oh, Fuji! Yesterday I had 2 teammates playing the BK168.
Oh, nice.
That was funny because it's like, why are there 2 players on my team rolling out the BK168?
Did they carry?
I got a player playing the VK168 in the tournament.
Right, and on that note, oh, lovely. On that note, all of you on YouTube, thank you very much for dropping in. By all means, if you feel like it, we have these every Saturday. By all means, drop into Discord, air your views. It's open for everybody. Seriously, it's not a one-way thing. So thank you for that. Those in Discord, thank you for jumping in, and we'll chat to you all again soon. Until then, guys, as per usual, stay safe, have fun out there, and happy tanking. Is that really what it's all about? Just having fun and being happy at the end of the day. Nothing more. So bye for now.